Every year, we see stars switch jerseys. Sure, some chase rings, some chase money, and some just need a fresh start after things went sideways with their current team. But this NFL offseason is about to get wild.
Lines up bottom, you picture completion, it is caught, Wilson.
The list of potential movers is absolutely stacked. We're talking about former MVPs, Pro Bowl pass rushers, and receivers who are supposed to be franchise cornerstones, all who are more than likely going to end up buying homes in new cities next year. So, let's get right into it. Here are the 10 biggest NFL stars that'll have a new home in 2026, and where they could end up. Kyler Murray, QB, Arizona Cardinals. The Kyler Murray era in the desert appears to be over. Adam Schefter reported on Super Bowl Sunday that Arizona wants to explore trading their franchise quarterback. Though, let's be honest, the writing has been on the wall for a while. The main obstacle is that Murray's contract is an absolute nightmare to navigate. His $52.7 million cap hit for 2026 is massive. If Arizona trades him before June 1st, they save about $35 million, but they still eat nearly $18 million in dead cap. So they give up a lot of leverage with potential trade partners who know that they can't in good conscience cut him and eat that massive cap hit. Multiple teams have shown some interest. The Jets, Vikings, Browns, Colts, and even the Steelers have all been mentioned. Murray's camp has reportedly expressed interest in Minnesota specifically, but they clearly still have a lot invested in JJ McCarthy, and it isn't obvious that they're ready to move on entirely. The Steelers keep coming up. I mean, they need a long-term answer at quarterback, and Murray, at least when healthy, can still make plays that very few quarterbacks in the league can make. They have the cap space, they have most of the pieces you need on the defensive side of the ball, and they need a quarterback who can extend plays and bring that offense back to the 21st century. Nothing is a far-gone conclusion at this point, though. Regardless, it is going to be interesting to see where Murray lands ahead of that June 1st target date. George Pickens, WR, Dallas Cowboys. Remember when George Pickens was catching passes from a carousel of Pittsburgh quarterbacks and making everyone wonder what he could do with a real offense? Yeah, those days are over. After getting traded to Dallas last May for a 3rd and 5th round pick, Pickens absolutely exploded. 93 catches, 1,429 yards, and 9 touchdowns. He averaged over 15 yards per catch for the 4th straight year of his career and has been near the top of the charts over the last few years, with his metric hovering around 16 per. The man is a human highlight reel with hands that should be registered as weapons and a competitive fire that borders on psychotic. But Dallas owes a few people, well, a lot of money, especially on that offense. With how much Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb are getting, it would be a shock to see them cut a deal for $30 million a year like Pickens wants. They might use the franchise tag on him, but if not, look for a team like Jacksonville to scoop him up. Trevor Lawrence desperately needs a true alpha receiver, and the Jaguars have the cap space to make Pickens one of the highest paid wideouts in the game today. Jaylen Phillips, edge, Philadelphia Eagles. Wait, didn't the Eagles just trade for this guy at the deadline? Didn't he help them make a playoff run? Yes, and now he is about to get paid by someone else. Phillips was one of the most coveted names at the trade deadline when the Dolphins shipped him to Philly for a 3rd round pick. With the Eagles, the former 1st round pick recorded 17 quarterback pressures, 4 tackles for loss, a forced fumble, and a fumble recovery in just 8 games. He adapted to Vic Fangio's defense almost instantly and became a legitimate difference maker down the stretch. At 26 years old, he is entering his prime. The problem? Well, Philadelphia has major cap concerns. And with some of the other big names eating up precious cap space, it's looking like Phillips will have to find a new home if he wants to earn what he's worth on the open market. So don't be shocked if he heads west and inks a deal with the Los Angeles Chargers. Phillips grew up in South California. He was a 5-star recruit out of Redlands before starring at UCLA and Miami. So this is a homecoming that makes a whole lot of sense from where we're sitting. Kenneth Walker III, running back, Seattle Seahawks. Super Bowl MVP, free agent, 25 years old. Kenneth Walker didn't just win the biggest game of his life, he absolutely dominated it. 135 rushing yards, 161 total scrimmage yards, the first running back to win Super Bowl MVP since Terrell Davis in 1998. His value has literally never been higher, and Walker's timing couldn't be more perfect. He's coming off a career-best regular season, 1,027 rushing yards, and an absolutely electric playoff run. He carried Seattle's offense after Zach Charbonnet's tore his ACL in the divisional round, and he delivered when it mattered most. The unassuming, soft-spoken back let his game do the talking, and boy howdy, it spoke loudly. The Seahawks want him back. GM John Schneider said as much at the championship parade. But, keeping up with the bidding war is gonna be a challenge. So look for the Kansas City Chiefs to make an aggressive bid and snake him, as they have been desperately trying to reinforce their backfield off the scrap heap for a couple of seasons now, and may have finally been pushed to paying a premium to solve that thorny problem. Mike Evans, wide receiver, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Mike Evans has been a Buccaneer since 2014. He is the franchise's all-time leading receiver. He won Super Bowl 55 with Tom Brady. He set an NFL record with 11 consecutive 1,000-yard seasons in order to start his career. And now, for the first time ever, he's about to hit free agency. Evans' 2025 season was derailed by injuries. A concussion early, then a broken collarbone in Week 7 against Detroit that ended his historic streak. He played just 8 games and finished with 368 yards, marking the first non-1,000-yard receiving season of his entire career. Needless to say, Tampa Bay felt his absence. The Buccaneers went 8-9 and missed the playoffs for the first time since 2019. It was a complete disaster from start to finish. But here's what people are forgetting. When healthy, Evans is still an elite red zone threat. He caught 11 touchdowns in 2024 on his way to another Pro Bowl. Baker Mayfield plays at a higher level with Evans on the field. That's not an opinion, that is just straight up fact. At 32, Safe Money says that he still has a lot left in the tank. Baltimore would be a heck of a second act for Evans. He could serve as the big-bodied target that Lamar's been missing as Mark Andrews has started to slow down and would immediately make the roster way more dangerous. This move makes a ton of sense for both sides. Evans gets a legitimate shot at another ring, and Baltimore finally gives Lamar the receiver he deserves. The only losers in the deal are Baker Mayfield and the rest of the folks down in South Florida who would hate to see a talent like Evans leave. Trey Hendrickson, edge, Cincinnati Bengals. This saga has been going on for 2 years now, and it is finally reaching its conclusion. Hendrickson requested a trade last February. The Bengals called his bluff and refused to deal him. He came back on a restructured 1-year deal with $29 million. Now, he's a free agent, and Cincinnati is reportedly considering the franchise tag again, which would cost $30.2 million. At this point, it just feels personal. Hendrickson had back-to-back 17.5 sack seasons in 2023 and 2024, leading the entire NFL both years. Injuries limited him to just 4 sacks in 7 games this season before he needed core muscle surgery, and it seemed like he was in no rush to get back to join his floundering organization. But when healthy, he's still one of the most technically sound pass rushers in the entire league. His hand usage and pass rush moves are elite, and he's a proven closer in big moments. Bears GM Ryan Poles reportedly checked in on Hendrickson at the trade deadline, so the interest is real. Chicago has massive cap space, and they desperately need a proven edge rusher opposite Montez Sweat. And Dennis Allen's defense would be perfect for Hendrickson's skill set. Have to think that Hendrickson would be pumped to join an up-and-coming squad like Chicago's. A.J. Brown, WR, Philadelphia Eagles. This might be the most explosive situation in the entire league right now. A.J. Brown had a down year in 2025, and he wasn't quiet about it. Career low numbers by his Eagles standards. A sideline altercation with Nick Sirianni during the wildcard game that went viral. Critical drops in the playoff loss to San Francisco. The vibes in Philly have been absolutely rancid. Multiple insiders expect the Eagles to at least consider moving Brown this offseason. Now look, technically a trade isn't the same as being cut, but the Eagles can save $7 million on the cap by dealing him after June 1st. And given how contentious things have gotten between Brown and the coaching staff, it wouldn't shock anyone to see these two sides part ways. The Bills have been linked to Brown for months. Josh Allen needs a true number 1 receiver, and Brown fits that mold perfectly. Patriots make a lot of sense too. Mike Vrabel is building something special in Foxborough, and adding Brown to that offense would be a statement of a move. Either way, it wouldn't be a shock to see him depart from the city of brotherly love, despite how important he is to that offense. Maxx Crosby, edge, Las Vegas Raiders. Hey, spoiler alert, Maxx Crosby wants to win, and winning has not been happening in Las Vegas. While he's been an excellent citizen since arriving in Sin City, the Raiders are just a hot mess. They went 3-14 in 2025. Pete Carroll was fired after one disastrous season. And Crosby, who's been one of the best defensive players in football, reportedly doesn't want to go through yet another rebuild. Now, Crosby hasn't formally requested a trade, but the reports are clear. he wants to play for a winner. And the Raiders, well, they're not that. The price for Crosby would be steep. We're talking a Micah Parsons-type haul, 2 first-round picks and a starting caliber player, maybe even more. He is just that good. The Eagles, Ravens, and Bills have all been linked to him too. Any contender with picks to burn should be calling. But the Cowboys need pass rush badly after trading Parsons, and Crosby would immediately become their best defensive player. This could be the redemption move that Jerry Jones has been looking for since he made the shocking move to deal Parsons. Devin Lloyd, linebacker, Jacksonville Jaguars. This is the name casual fans might not quite know yet, but man, NFL front offices absolutely do. Devin Lloyd just had a monster contract year season in Jacksonville. We're talking 5 interceptions, including a 99-yard pick six against Patrick Mahomes. He added 81 tackles, 1.5 sacks, 10 quarterback hits, and 7 passes defended. The former first-round pick earned his first Pro Bowl selection and was named second-team All-Pro. After 3 inconsistent seasons, Lloyd finally put it all together at the perfect time. Here's the problem for Jacksonville. They declined his 5th-year option last April, making him a free agent this March. Reports indicate that the Jaguars and Lloyd are not close on a new contract, and considering the icy feel between the two sides after they declined his option, it wouldn't be a shock to see him take his talents west and slot into Sean Payton's defense in Denver. Despite having an excellent defense, the Broncos had issues at linebacker this season, and now Alex Singleton is a free agent, Justin Strnad is gone, and Dre Greenlaw is really showing signs of wear and tear. So, with that said, this could be a great landing spot for a young stud like Lloyd. Breece Hall, running back, New York Jets. The Jets finished 3-14 under first-year head coach Aaron Glenn. They traded away Sauce Gardner, they shipped out Quinnen Williams, and now their most explosive offensive weapon this side of Garrett Wilson is about to hit free agency. Breece Hall rushed for 1,065 yards on a terrible team. Just imagine what he could do with an actual offense around him. He's only 24 years old and he has everything that you want in a modern NFL back. Elite vision, explosive burst, and receiving ability that makes him a true 3-down weapon. The only real concern here is the durability, but that's the case for just about every running back if we're being honest. Since getting drafted in 2022, Hall has been one of the most productive backs in the league when healthy, and he has barely scratched the surface of his potential. The Jets have the cap space to keep him, but do they really want to? Glenn is in full rebuild mode, stockpiling draft picks and clearing out veteran contracts. I don't think it would bode well for either side for the Jets to franchise tag him, especially given where their squad is at with the rebuild. One interesting landing spot could be Dallas. Jerry Jones loves a flashy running back, and after a disappointing 2025 season, it wouldn't be a shock to see him try and make a splash by adding Hall to that already high-powered offense. But hey, which player do you think is most likely to change teams? Who would you want on your favorite team? What do you think we got right here? What do you think we got wrong? Was there anyone that we may have missed? Let us know in the comment section below. If you liked this video and learned a thing or two, then clicking the like button helps us out a ton. And you know, we really appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to TPS though, then subscribing is a great idea because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching and we'll see you guys next time.